Mm-hmm. Well, big group. Hello everyone. Hi Karate at Home. This is Dan Elliot and Dan Elliot, my sister, and also Sensei Todd Elliot, my dad. Streaming from Westchester, Pennsylvania, United States, at the Empty Hand Family Karate Studio. And we are happy to be here with you today. Welcome to our dojo. It's a great group, and I look forward to training with you guys today. I think I'm ready to just jump into it. So if we're set, we're ready to go. Let me just make sure I'm transmitting and that you guys can hear me. I think we're good. All right. Yeah, there's a thumbs up. Let's roll. Okay, let's start. Left leg forward, juke my free stance. Just we're gonna start really loose. And we're gonna practice shift in, gakuzuki, and shift back each count. Real simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now with the Kizamizuki with the left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch legs, right leg in front. Same way, gakuzuki. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, right hand, Kizamizuki. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And switch legs again. And we'll kick. So this time, same shift in, front stance. But instead of punching, my hair. Each count. Rear leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, front leg, Mayashi, and shift in as you did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch legs. Now with the rear leg, left leg. 1. Be sure to make that shift. You want to be sure to go from jukamai to a zenkutsu. Then kick. Reach. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, stance. Don't just kick in place. I want you to travel. Move into your stance. Use the stance for the kick. 1, 2, and then recover each time. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, got it? Relax. So today, I'd like to play with different types of timing in order to make different types of kine. There are different types of kine. And it falls under that blanket term, kine, or focus, that's making power, delivering as much force as you can to the target. But I want to specify today there are many, many different ways of doing that. And it's our job to figure out what is the best way for us, for our body, at any given time in different situations. It's going to be different. So we're going to play with timing and how that affects our focus today. So having said that, we're going to do the exercise we just did, just practicing shifting in and making our techniques either Gyakuzuki, Kizamizuki, Kizamigari, or Gyaku Maigari. We're going to do those, but we're going to play with the timing and get very different results each time. So, to start, left leg forward, Jukumai, just like before. We're going to shift in Gyakuzuki, just like before, but instead of waiting to land, hand, foot, same time, right? I want to punch and hit the target normally. I want to punch and hit the target as my foot goes down. And I want everything to stop at the same time. Well, now, today, we're going to jump that timing forward a little bit. And I'm going to hit the target. I'm going to hit the target at the moment my back leg straightens. I'm going to use directly this push with my back leg, and I'm not going to allow it to fall off. I'm not going to let that energy fall off before I hit the target. This will result in me hitting my target before the front leg hits the ground, sort of like hit. 1, 2, 1, 2. We're using this driving action, and we're not waiting for the front foot. Don't wait for the front foot. That's the exercise. We're going to do a few of those. Just with Gyakuzuki for now, just to show that feeling. Ready? No speed. 1, 2. And throw the hips as you do. As you straighten the leg, you throw the hips. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now kicking. So how do you do this with kicking? It's going to look like, instead of step, kick, step, kick, it will instead look like step, kick. Same time. Flip your hip, initiate the motion, and as you're landing, you're already picking this foot up. This foot's already getting started. You don't wait for this to land before you pick this up. Less stability, but more speed. So you just flip your hip and get started on the kick early so that you can land in the kick. That's what we're going to try for the minor. Ready? No speed, just timing. 1. And back. 2. With the flip of the hip. 3. 4. 5, 6. So very important to start this from half face, from Han knee. If you start up here, you can't flip your hip to start the movement. So you have to start half face each one. Then you have this entire amount from 90 to 0 to rotate. And you need that rotation. You need every bit of it. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Yeah. Now relax. So it's just a way of, in this case, you are streamlining all of the steps. You have to do everything that you're doing here, even under normal circumstances. You step, you put your foot down, you turn your hip, you pick your leg up, you kick. It's just here, we are compressing it so that you're doing certain things simultaneously and saving time. Don't skip any of the steps, just put them together and cut out the interval that they would normally take. Okay, right leg forward now. What do I take? Same way, Jukumai. Drive with the back leg. Don't wait for the front leg. So, Yame real quick. If you ride a motorcycle, like a high-powered motorcycle, and you rev the engine from a stop position too hard, what happens? The front wheel comes up. You pop a wheelie. That's kind of what we're going for here. There's so much power in that back wheel that's pushing forward so abruptly that the front picks up. So when we punch, we want to wait for the front foot because that gives us more connection to the ground. But it also gives us less drive power, less drive. So we want to use all the drive and not wait for the connection. Say the opponent is closer than we thought, or is moving forward, and we have to catch them sooner. We don't want to waste the pushing energy that we generated, but if we wait too long, we'll get hit. This is just sort of a specific situation where this kind of launching power will be very useful. So that's why we're practicing it. Okay, right leg forward, come on. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good, Yame. Now we're going to do the kick as well. Right leg forward. And that's it. Okay, same way. Turn the hip, and as the front foot goes down, you should be already kicking. As opposed to normally we kind of wait. And then once both feet are on the ground, we throw the hip and the leg. That's fine, but it takes longer. So we're gonna throw the kick early while we're in midair basically. And then the kick lands when we land. That feeling. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good, Yummy. Relax. Okay. But instead of your normal jukumai, free fighting stance, the way we do with our guard here, we're just going to have one hikite. The rear hand will be hikite, draw hand. And each count, we're going to do both one and two. So launch into front stance, then back. Oh, sorry, we haven't done two yet. Sorry, hold on. We have to do two. The second delivery method. Okay, so before we combine them, I'm getting ahead of myself. Left leg forward, jukumai. This time, instead of launching in front stance and punching before the foot lands, this time we will drop down into fudodachi, sochin stance, and punch after the foot lands. So it's going to be down and throw the punch. You're dropping down. We're not thinking so much forward with this one. We're going down and using our rooted connection to the ground to fire off our punch in place that way. So our foot's going forward, but our energy is going down into the ground. So each count, it's just this way. Fudodachi. Ready? No speed, same way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch legs. Jukumai. Remember, it's jukumai into fudodachi. So you have to start shorter than your fudodachi would normally be. Nice short jukumai stance. Start standing up basically, and then drop down. Twist the hips into place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Down there. And as you can imagine, that's what we're going to do in a second. When I said combine them, that's what I meant. We're going to do the first one, front stance, and then come back to this position, and then the second one, fudodachi. But it's not just the stances that I want you to concentrate on. We have to make sure that we're thinking of these as two different types of punches. They're both gakuzu. They're the same punch, but with the delivery of my punch from front stance, because I'm not connected to the ground, should be more loose, snap, like a whip, like a wrecking ball, right? A ball attached to a chain, and it swings and hits the target. Whereas this one, from fudodachi, driving straight in, more like a battering ram. Fully rigid and connected throughout. So I would say, in front stance, relax your arm. And then you do the fudodachi and keep everything tight and connected. Two opposite, distinct feelings. But we're not there yet, right? Because we have one other thing to do. Before we combine them. So when we punched, we did front stance and we did fudodachi. We've kicked, but we've only done front stance, kicking. And we've only done that first timing, that initial timing. It is possible and fun to do the second timing as well with a kick. So that's what we're going to do. All you have to do is from jukumai, drop down into your fudodachi. And and then throw the kick. That's it. You're going to use the reaction that you generate by dropping your weight down to throw your kick out. You can drop in place. You don't even have to move forward. You can just go from here, point, and bounce up into the kick. That's what we're going for. In place, so hold it back, don't step through. It's going to be down, up, kick, and furudachi, and jukumai. That's it. So let's practice those. Left leg forward, kamaite. Remember, it's drop, half face, and then use that reaction to spring back up into the kick. Ready? No speed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn your hips. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good, switch feet. Right leg forward. Same way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Got it. Good. And relax. Cool. Now that idea, that movement, is versatile. I can use it to drop down in place like we just did, and then use the spring to send something up. But I can also use it to move myself wherever I want, anywhere, forward, backward, left, or right. Drop, drop my weight. All I'm doing is dropping my weight. As long as I don't go up first and try and go like, then I've saved myself time and established a strong momentary connection to the ground that I can throw and attack from. Very useful. If you practice this and get quick enough at doing it, it becomes very useful. Okay, so now we have to put them together, like I was trying to do before. Left leg forward, jukumai. Alright, so each count, it just looks like Zenku Fudachi, back, pull the draw hand all the way back, and then Fudachi, and recover. Make sure to do the timing of the front foot correctly. So I want my punch to land before the foot on the first punch, and then after the foot on the second punch. And then back. We'll do speed. Nice and quick. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Down. Relax. Breathe. Okay, let's do the other leg. Right leg forward, jukumai. Now, same way. Full speed. 1, 2, 3, to mirror the things that I practice with my hands down to my feet. I always try to adapt any ideas that I'm having, any concepts that I'm working on, into kicks as well as punches. And the reasoning behind that is we use our hands for everything. We're already good at using our hands. We're very good at using our hands. That requires less practice than legs. All we do with our legs is walk. We don't have the same dexterity training, daily effortless dexterity training with our feet, because we don't use them to eat cereal. So you've got to at least kick as much as you punch. Really, you should be kicking more than you punch. That would make the most sense. But kicking is a lot of work, and it takes up a lot of time, especially class time. So if I'm teaching, a lot of times we'll do fewer kicks than punches. But it's always implied in my classes, you should always take it as, I expect you to take these exercises afterward and do the kicking exercises at least as much as we did at the hand techniques. And I'm just trying to show you all the different stuff as I go through. So that's my little disclaimer there. Now we're going to kick. We're going to apply this to kicking. The same thing we just did, both types of focus. Now, there's a little shortcut that we can take here that we can't really take with the hands. And I'm going to show you that right now. Remember the two kicking steps that we did were flipping the hip and kicking as we land on the front leg? Front stance. This is front stance. I'm in a front stance right now. It's just my leg is doing a kick. But if I put my foot down, it's a front stance. This should be the same position. So I'm shifting forward into front stance, into Zen Kutsudachi, kick. Then we also did drop down, Fudodachi, and throw the leg up. With a punch, you have to wait until you step back. But with the kick, my foot's already up here. So I don't have to put my foot down and then drop, right? What I can do instead of that is drop from here. Kick. That's it. So instead of kicking and replacing your foot back to where you started, go ahead and shift forward, do the kick, first kick. Then in place, just switch feet. Drop straight down into Fudodachi. And just like before, bounce out of it. And we're going to try a couple of those with speed so that we can move on to the next exercise. Ready? Jukumai. 2 kicks each count. Ready? 1. And then back. Good. 2. 3. 4. You have to use your hips. 5. 6. 7. So, 3 more, but remember the hips. Shift forward, flip the hips to the front face. Kick. Then from here, even though my leg is in the air, I still have to flip my hips to get down. Then flip forward. So start half face, front face, half face, front face. That's the exercise. 3 more. Ready? 8. 9. 10. Yummy. And relax. Catch your breath. We gotta do the left leg still. So I'm all about cutting out unnecessary steps. Because it makes things faster. There is no need to formally replace my foot back to where I started. There's no reason to do that, because I'm going to drop down into Futodachi anyway. Skip the step. Just drop from here. It also gives you a couple of inches to move forward, which is nice. Okay, right leg forward, Jukumai. My take. Same thing. Kick, drop, kick. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yummy. Good. Relax, shake out. Okay. Next, I want to talk about uke, blocking techniques. Because the next exercise I have sort of presupposes certain things about the execution of the block. Namely, that your block is strong, and that it is effective, and that you are using it for the correct purpose. When we are beginners, we are taught that uke techniques, blocking techniques, are for protecting ourselves. And they are. That's absolutely true, because if you don't block correctly, if you don't deflect the attack that's coming at you with your block, then you don't get a chance to do anything else. It's over already. However, there is another effect to blocking that is almost as important as protecting yourself. I would call it about 40% of the reason you are doing a block. Because remember, if we just wanted to protect ourselves, if we just wanted to keep from getting hit, we could just leave. We could evade. Evading is much easier than blocking. It's much safer than blocking. You don't have to get into your opponent's range and try to time this uke technique and then counter before they can counter you. Uke techniques are dangerous. There is a specific reason that we are doing it, and it's not to protect ourselves. Yes, the prerequisite of it is that we must protect ourselves. It has to work to deflect the attack. But really, the reason I'm blocking, she's punching at me. This is protecting myself. This is keeping myself safe. I'm good. I don't need to block in order to be safe. Why do I block? To create an opening. I want to create an opening. That's why I specifically hold my ground and block. I don't just want to move this arm. I want to move my opponent. I want to make it so that A, they cannot attack me again immediately, and B, I have all these targets. That's what blocks are for, thank you. That's what blocks are for. Don't forget that part. And that's why, when we do kata, instead of swatting a punch to the side, or just deflecting, or gently nudging the arm out of the way, we're doing this. We're making a stance, we're making body connection, and we're making focus. All of our uke techniques are just as strong as our striking techniques. This is the reason. I'm literally trying to turn my opponent around. And the only way to reliably do that is to use my entire body. So don't forget that purpose when you do these next uke blocks. It's not enough to just swat the arm away. I have to create an opening for my counterattack. If I block my opponent, I win. I should win. Because they committed to an attack, and I thwarted it. And I disrupted their balance, I disrupted their posture. That's what blocking techniques are for. Okay, so that being said, we're going to go into the next exercise. It has one block in it, but you must use your body connection to make it work. Otherwise, you'll just get hit by the next punch. Okay, we're going to do 3 counts. First count, I'll just show you. First count, step away to 45 degrees with your right leg to behind you. With your right leg to the left, and with your left hand, Kizamijuki. That's the first count. So, 1. Then on 2, we will Yakuzuki, Soto Udeuke. From here, Yakuzuki in place, and then step forward, Soto Udeuke. And then the third count, counterattack, Yakuzuki. That's just like that. So start with the right leg, step away to the left, Kizamizuki. 1. Then on 2 techniques, Yakuzuki, Soto Udeuke. 2. And then 3, Yakuzuki, and Yami. Now we'll go to the other side. Left leg steps to the right, Kizamizuki. 1, 2, punch, block. 3, punch, and up. Good. Step left again. 1, 2, punch, block. 3, Yami. To the right. 1, 2, punch, block. 3, punch. Good. Now I'll just count. I will assume that you're following, and I'll just count. Left. 1, 2, 3. To the right. 1, 2, 3. Good. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. When you block, make sure, for now, I'm going to change this later, but for now, when you block, make sure full range of motion. Make your front face as you step in, hold your front face until it's time to block. Block with your rotation and land in your stance. That's going to make it much stronger. Left. 1, 2. Rotate at the last second. 3. And again. Right. 1, 2, 3. Good. Yame. Now let's try it all by 1 count. All 4 techniques by 1 count. And what you're going to find is that certain ones of these techniques go with that. Use that natural rhythm. There are natural rhythms to this combination, and I want you to find them, and I want you to use them. Ready? No speed, take your time. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Good, got it. Now, one by one, I'd like to talk about each individual component of this exercise. I love this drill. This is a fun drill. Starting with the Kizami-zuki. Let's stand maybe 45. Okay, my opponent's attacking me. Punch is coming to my face or something. So, if I step away here and do Kizami-zuki, I can't reach. I missed. I'm avoiding the attack, which is good, and I'm getting away. But if I step backward, I miss. Instead of that, what I should be doing is something more like in Jion, the first movement of Jion. We don't step away in Jion. We drop down, stay where we were, and we stick our leg back as a brace. That's Jion. That's how we do Jion. We drop straight down. This is the Kizami-zuki here. If I move, I'm safe, but I can't reach. If I drop, I can reach. And I'm pulling my face out of the way at the last second, and I'm hitting my target. That's what this is. Make sure that you are not traveling when you do the Kizami-zuki. You should be just dropping straight down, rotating your face out of the way. That's the move. Thank you. For now, just focus on that. Chew on that for a little bit. We'll do a couple more. Starting left side. Ready? 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Good. Got it? So try and get that feeling of just dropping straight down. And then instead of sticking your leg straight back, we get to twist. It's extremely grounding. Gives you a very strong foundation if you can time it correctly. Next, the Gyakuzuki is kind of self-explanatory, but what I like to do here is focus. The brain is an interesting tool because it's very, very good at doing one thing at a time. Very good at it. Excellent. But then when you start adding things, adding tasks, it starts to lose processing power. and it starts to become difficult to do each one thing well. When I drop down into this, okay, when I do these 2 first punches, if I'm not thinking about dropping down and staying in place, then I won't do it. So what I need to concentrate on is the first punch, not both punches. I need to concentrate on the first punch until I have hit my target. Then, instead of combining, ordinarily when you do Kizanzuki, Gakuzuki, you think of them as a grouping. You group them together. 1, 2, 1, 2. But since I don't want to do that, because I have so much to concentrate on for the first punch, what I can do instead is group the next 2 techniques. So instead of 1, 2, I'm grouping 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. That's the idea. My opponent is here. I'm dropping out of the way, and then he wants to counterattack. He wants to attack me. He wants to stop me from doing whatever I'm doing. I'm in a good spot, but the attack is still coming. So what I need to do is punch and then make sure my guard is up. This way. Say I don't hit with this attack, and he punches. I'm stepping forward. My dad's a big, strong guy. I'm actually shorter than he is. If we stand up, I'm about an inch shorter than he is. He's a bigger dude. He has more weight. He has more power. But if he is standing still and doing a punch, and I throw myself forward, I can win. Use the step, use the body connection with your uke. That's what I was talking about before. Uke techniques are not about pushing the hand out of the way. If I push his hand out of the way, he's still got this one. Whereas, if I push him out of the way, then I have openings. So, individual punch. Then the next 2 are grouped together. This is already in place, so pull it back into the block, make it strong. Make it strong, connect it to your stance. Your stance here not being the end point. We think of stances as final positions, when really stances are steps. The stance is from here all the way to here. That's my stance, and it must be strong. So from here, I'm going to connect my block to my stance. Block the punch or whatever they throw. Even if he doesn't throw an attack, my uke technique can still unbalance him, can still create an opening, because that is what it's for. He might not be attacking me, but he's still got arms, and I can still move those arms out of the way and create an opening, a target to hit. So, 1, 2, 3. There's going to be one more point. We're going to do 2 more sets of these. I want you to concentrate here on streamlining and strengthening this motion, making it all one. Connect to your stance, connect to your step. This block. Ready? Starting left. By 1 count, do the whole thing nice and slow. Just think about that stuff. 1. Now to the right. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. There's one more part, the cherry on top, which is the punch. The punch at the end. All right. Our stances are tools. They are weapons to be used by us. We want them to work for us. We don't want them to be handicaps. It's very easy to practice your stances in a way that limits your movement so that you're stuck. When in reality, that's never how they were intended to be used. People who criticize karate, people from other martial arts who see us doing all these katas with the long, low stances, they always go, you can never fight anybody from there. That's ridiculous. It's impractical. You can't use those stances. If you got in a fight, you just get overrun by somebody who's with quicker feet, who's standing up and just throwing punches. That's kind of true. That's not, when you watch a kata, you're not seeing how the stances are intended to be used. So if you freeze, if you watch a kumite match in slow motion, if you watch it at regular speed, you might say, oh, they didn't use stances. They didn't use any stances. That's not what they don't. Kata and kumite are completely different things. They're not using stances. But if you slow it down, or if you freeze frame it at certain points, you will absolutely see stances. Your stances are not intended to be stood in. We're not supposed to pose once we make the stance, but we are absolutely supposed to use them. This is a stance. An attack is coming at my face. I shift my weight away, back stance. It's not pristine and precise and formal, but it's back stance. And then I return fire by shifting my weight forward. That's front stance. And even though I don't stand here in this position, I make the front stance. I was in front stance for one frame. That's what the stances are for. So don't use them as a ball and chain or like an anchor and be like, ugh, gotta stay here and not move. And no, that's not what they're for. That's not what they're for. When you're talking about practical application of stances, move through them very quickly. So, having said that, this last technique, when we rotate, punch, punch, block, my landing should have this block. I should be blocking and using the landing to fortify myself as I hit, as I drive through the opponent. Then, I don't have to stay here for my gakuzuki. What I can do is shift in, yuriashi. Let me do that again on camera for you. Punch, punch, block. Go ahead and move. Move through if you need to. You don't have to be constrained to the spot you land on. Your stances can be fluid, and they're still stances, and it's still Shotokan. Even if you don't stand there for 5 minutes, you can flow. So that's what I want you to think about for the last set of these. We're going to do one more set. Kind of running out of time, so I'm going to hurry. Ready? Start left. One count, whole thing. 1. Now to the right. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. shake it out, catch your breath. We got time for about one more exercise. Because I talk too much. Off to the side. Okay, let's have some fun. Let's talk about moache here. Kibidachi. Moache here. From Kibidachi, let's start to the sides. So on first count, pick your left foot up, moache here to the left. Second count, moache here to the right. And then we'll alternate. Ready? Left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good, yummy. Did anybody notice anything interesting about that kick? You don't really have to answer because I can't see you, but I noticed something interesting about that kick. When we are taught moache geri, when we think of moache geri, we think big, round, circular kick that comes around and follows a completely different path than other kicks, other techniques that we are used to throwing. This is false. Moache geri is not round. It's not different. It's not a different technique. Moache geri is just like mai geri. Mai geri is straight. Now, mai geri is also not straight. Look, I'm creating an arc. My foot is swinging up into the target. Swinging around into the target. But it's the same. Mai geri is on this vertical plane. Moache geri is the same kick on this horizontal plane. You don't change anything else. All that's different is the approach vector. It's not some weird, informal, swinging thing that we do. That's not what it is. Moache geri, when we just did it from Kibidachi, it didn't really come around. It came up and in, straight. The same way it would have if we'd done mai geri. Mai geri, moache geri. What makes it look like it's coming around is the hips rotate full 180 degrees. If I do chudan soto deuke, I'm not going like this. I'm not moving my arm around. That doesn't make sense. What am I doing instead? I'm turning my head. My arm stays where it is. I make the shoulder front and back strong. I make the armpit, all the supporting muscles for my arm, I make them firm, and I turn my body so that I can block with my body, but my arm is neutral. Soto, okay. Moache geri is the same. You shouldn't be pinching your hip. Here's why. Have you ever done like 1,000 some kicks in class and had your hip flexor be raw and sore and tired and exhausted, it's because these muscles up front here are pretty weak. These are weak muscles. We don't want to rely on them for creating power. We want to use other stuff. Bigger, stronger muscles for that are better at doing that. All these should be working for is picking the leg up. They are not for delivering force. So, when I do a Moache, I should be keeping my leg neutral, just like my shoulder, and turning my hips. Then, when I straighten my leg, the kick happens. That's how you should be thinking of Moache, not like, let me pick up and swing my leg all the way around and change the posture at the end. It should be neutral. It should be straight, and you should be turning your hips to hit the target. What? Yeah. So we're going to do a couple. We're going to do left leg forward. We're actually going to start with we're going to do the front leg Moache geri, roundhouse kick. Each count, go 10. 10 kicks per count. Just the front leg. Ready? 1. Again, 2. Now, a couple of things need to be happening here. 2 things. 1, each kick, you must start from front face. And as you deliver the kick, you turn to half face. Then you turn back to front face after the kick. That's the first thing that has to happen. The second thing that has to happen, make sure this back foot turns back, turns back. I want to give my hips as much room as possible to rotate, because the kick is the rotation. The kick has nothing to do with my leg and everything to do with my hip turning. Therefore, I don't want anything in the way of my rotation when I kick. So I'm going to turn my toes from the front to the back, each count, all the way, 180 degrees. Then turn them back. Ready? 10 more. 3, turn, flip, turn, flip, turn. Yeah. Switch feet. Right foot in front. All right, let's finish up. We're out of time. Ready? 1. Turn, forward, side, forward, side, forward. Ready? 2. I'm Dan from Westchester, Pennsylvania, right outside of Philadelphia in the United States. This is my sensei, Dan Elliot, and my sister, Dan Elliot, and it was great to see all of you. I have one more tiny little bonus exercise. Oh, do they have something else? Okay, never mind. I'm not going to then encroach on any more of your time. Thank you, everybody. Maybe we'll do the next thing next time. Okay? Good job. See you later.